Hey seedlings! Today we are going to be continuing with Friendly Rivalry. It's going to be chapter 9. I'm sorry that I didn't post yesterday. I totally forgot that it was Sunday. So I didn't post. And then I realized as I was going to bed and I was like, oh my god. Oops. I hope you enjoy this chapter. Let's read. Okay, so your entrance exam for UA is in like a year and a half, right? Zen said immediately as Izuku wandered in. Yes, Izuku said hesitantly. Why? Well, it's about time we started you on getting faster, Zen said cheerfully. It'll only help, and sure, you won't be as fast as me, because I'm super fast even without my quirk, but you can totally be faster than most villains. Okay, Izuku offered. How are we going to do that? Prepare to be extremely sore, Zen said instead, grinning almost evilly. Izuku paled. Training with Zen took up almost all his time. And while he wasn't doing that, Hiki still made him practice with her, and he was still learning under Tenki. It was exhausting, and Izuku loved it. Funnily enough, his mother didn't even seem to notice his spike in appetite. He also really only ate with her maybe once a week, so it might have been that. However, since Izuku was more observant than his mother, he did notice the lack of nursing home employees after a week or so. So, what's up with the decreased number of employees? Izuku asked Tenki one time while they were discussing potential uses of one of the quirks Tenki had. Oh, since you're here all the time, they were encouraged to downsize a bit, Tenki replied. They're all mostly a farce anyway. We can all take care of ourselves fine. We're all in excellent health. So, Ningyami and you brainwashed them into getting rid of most of the employees, Izuku said, reading between the lines like a pro. Maybe, Tenki said vaguely. Izuku took that as a yes. And the remaining ones might mostly work for me in one vague way or another. Izuku couldn't bring himself to be surprised. Alright, sounds fun. Fortunately, Izuku could tell when he was getting better and faster. He was keeping up with Zen better, and he was less and less tired at the end of the day. Hey, Sen, Izuku asked at some point after a set of running exercises. Yeah, kid? Why do you always have that crow stuffy? Zen paused, staring off into middle distance. It was a gift from a friend. And that was that. Izuku was still curious, but he acknowledged that Zen didn't want to talk about it, and didn't press further. Zen started talking about it unprompted a few days later. His name was Itachi. I guess you could kind of say we were cousins. Not actually related. Too close to be just friends, but not quite brothers. Cousins fit us just fine. He had a cute little brother, too, that he adored, although the kid absolutely hated me. Zen snorted quietly. Never did find out why he hated me so much. Izuku stayed quiet, eagerly listening. One day, something changed. Zen gave a heavy sigh and leaned forward to put his head in his hands. He suddenly looked his age, old and weathered, none of the vibrant energy he usually had. I don't know what it was, but something did. I ignored it when I shouldn't have. A week later, he and his entire family were dead, even his beloved younger brother. It was ruled that Itachi killed all 3 of them, then committed suicide. Zen stopped, his body racking with something, a shiver, a sob. Izuku couldn't tell. I should have said something, he whispered at last. I should have done something. Sometimes I wonder if it's my fault they're all dead. Izuku hummed, considering. Didn't you tell me a while ago that it was not my fault Bakugo hurts other people? Not my responsibility? Zen gave a hoarse laugh, leaning back and grabbing one of the tissues from the box on the table in front of them. Using my own words against me now, are we? You're right, of course, but sometimes I can't help but wonder. Still, not your fault, Izuku repeated, smiling kindly at him. Yeah, thanks, kid. The crow stuffed animal was the thing he gave to me any time something happened. I have dozens of them in my room. Everyone is labeled with when he gave it to me and what happened. Some were for birthdays, other for holidays, some from festivals, some from stores on his way home. Zen gave a bitter laugh. That was the reason I turned to villainy, to figure out what happened to him, what drove him to that. Did you ever find it? Izuku asked, tilting his head. Zen wiped at his eyes with another tissue as he answered. No, I never did. I kind of gave up after a while. Was only in it for the thrills of getting away from hero after hero. I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life after a while. I put the costume away, got an actual job, and disappeared into the ether. When I got older, I found this place, and figured why not? I had been a villain for a good few years. I was technically reformed, even if I reformed myself. I'm glad you're here, Izuku told him sincerely. I know you are, kid. I'm glad to be here too. I think it's been good for me, so I don't wallow in the past. Zen stood up, throwing away the tissues he used. All right, kid. Let's get back to work. You have a hero exam to take in just over a year. You'll need to be as ready as you can be. I'll probably be more ready than everyone else there, Izuku said, grinning. The most readiest. Readiest isn't a word, Zen complained. And? Izuku asked cheekily. Zen huffed. Get to running, silly kid. I'm coming, Izuku chirped. Are crows your favorite animal? Izuku asked one day when he'd been thinking about it. Sure? I don't really have one, but yeah, crows have always been pretty special to me, and not just because of Itachi. Zen shrugged. There were a lot in my hometown, and I liked to feed them. They liked me a lot, and even defended me from bullies a few times. That's really cool, Izuku decided, nodding. Maybe you should get a different style of crow, or make him one or something. It'd be super cool either way. He ended up finding one he hadn't seen Zen with before, telling his mom it was one of his friend's birthdays soon, and he had to get it for them. His mom was delighted about it, and helped him wrap it carefully, and sent him off with it the next day. When he presented it to Zen, the man started crying. He bent and hugged Izuku tightly. Thank you, kid. I love it. Izuku hugged him back just as tight. I'm glad. I spent super long finding just the right one you didn't have. Anything would have been special from you, kid, Zen replied, releasing him. Thank you. You're welcome.